Hi guys, so I'm going to show you how I had a request, and I'm going to show you how I did the base with Sharpies for this. I'm going to show you the base for this mani, and then in part 2 I'll show you how I hand painted these roses and leaves, but right now we're doing this. So I went ahead, I started out with a white base, and I used the True Gel Marshmallow a gel polish, but if you like to use regular polish instead, this LA Colors 402, it looks like the same white, and you can get it at Dollar Tree or whatever white that you like using, but that's what we're starting with. And then I've got a fine point, just a regular black Sharpie, and so this is what I did, and by the way, and then I'm just using one of my old brushes, but if you want to use a better one you can, but this one works fine for this. And then I have a little jelly jar that works perfect to keep my alcohol in, and I'm using 91% alcohol, and so anyway, so the way I did it is, all I do is I just start out and I just do a squiggle line down the middle like that. I'm going to do another one on this side. Oops, you don't have to do it that close. And none of them are going to turn out exactly the same. So each time it looks different. But with art, I've found it's kind of cool. Actually, we'll wait to do that one. It's kind of cool, that it's not exactly perfect. And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and dip in my little jar some alcohol, and then I dab it off. And just you'll figure out how much you want to use depending on what you want. But what I do is I start at the top of the line, the middle line, and I just kind of dab lightly, until I get it to look how I want it to look. I just kind of dab down the line. And at first I just kind of do it this way. Hope you can see it. Just kind of dab it down this way, dab. And then until I kind of figure out how, like, do I want it kind of more blurry, or do I want some of these dark lines? So I'm going to go down a second time, and so that it kind of softens it up. For me, I'd rather do it, go down it a second time than to get it go too much the first time, and get it all blurred out. And I don't want it blurred out for this because I want to be able to see the white in between. Just trying to make it kind of an interesting background. But you can kind of figure out how soft do you want it, to look. Like, do you want it to look more like water paint, watercolor? Then you use a little more alcohol on it. So that one's a little softer. Sorry if I had it down so you couldn't see it. I'm going to soften this bottom part just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to dab a little bit more and dab off on my paper towel. And then I'm going to start down this other one. And I'm just going to, lightly dab at it again. And kind of like that again. I'm going to try to bring this one over a little bit more that way. And if you get a spot, where you kind of blurred it and you don't want it to be blurred, if you're real careful, you can put a little bit alcohol on it, dab off the excess and just, kind of clean it up. So like if I don't really, care. I kind of like the imperfection, but if I didn't like it, so like there's a little bit right here, down here. If I didn't want that there, I could kind of lightly go down it, but carefully. You don't want too much alcohol because you don't want it taking off something or blurring them together, So if you're careful, you can, kind of work that down, or at least soften it out a little bit instead of, you definitely don't want to make it worse. If it doesn't bug you, I would leave it alone. And it's definitely easy to overwork this, and you don't really want to do that. I mean, if you do take some off and you didn't want that, If you took too much off that you didn't want to, now I'm going to soften this. Oops, okay, I'm going to soften this dark spot right here a little bit. Add a little bit more. Okay, kind of soften it up. And I am going to paint over this. So, also I'm going to add a little bit more down at this bottom part because I think I blurred it out a little bit too much. So right here, I'm going to add a little more. Okay, see, easy, easy peasy. And then I will, let me look at it a second. I probably want to soften it just a little bit. So just a little bit of alcohol. Really does not take much. Just a light, kind of light dab. Now see, I'm kind of taking a little more than I wanted to, I think. That's okay. Just keep in mind, I mean, you can, wear it just like this. You don't have to paint over it or anything. But I did for the mani that I've got. So let me look at it again. I don't want to overdo it. Okay, so I want to soften this up here a little bit. So let me see that. So I'm just going to touch the end of it and kind of just pull it up a little bit. Okay, like that. And maybe soften this little spot right there a little bit. Okay, there we go. And if you didn't like this part right there, you could take some of that out. I think I'm actually just gonna, okay, let me do it this way so you can see. Maybe just take some over here and kind of soften it up a little bit. There. So anyway, really easy, and if you want it, you can mess with it as much as you want, but you have to kind of be careful not to overwork it, because sometimes, you can make it be, it can be too much. It's kind of better if you just, anyway, that's it. It's nothing more exciting than that. It's pretty easy, but it looks really cool, when you put something over it. If you want it to be more, and you can make it softer, or so like this was my sample one. See how they're different, and you can do matte over it. You can do shiny or matte, gel polish top coat over it. This one's a softer one, so if you want to do it softer, and you want it to be a softer background for your rose, then this one would be a good one. Which is what I'm going to do on the next tutorial. But anyway, it's kind of cool, and that's all I did. So please like and subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you'll get a notice on the next new video. And thank you so much. Bye guys.